right.
How's it going, MK?
I'm well. I'm very well. Thank you. Are we going to tickle the Eagle's tummy today? That's the question.
Are we going to find Mo a date for Simone's wedding?
Yeah.
You want to play that game, Mo?
We can play that game, too. You can play that game.
Because I don't mind getting my tummy tickled. But you, however.
Can I do the one from Armageddon with the animal cookies?
You may.
Like Ben Affleck?
I don't mind.
Nice.
Welcome
Very
to
sexual.
Calling the Audible as we are approaching the final few weeks of the season.
Are you guys ticklish?
Not really. No.
I'm not at all.
Eagle, are you ticklish?
I wouldn't say I'm super ticklish. I mean, it also depends on where you're tickling me.
What's the spot for you?
The tummy.
I mean, I feel like if I tell you, that gives it away.
Yeah.
We'll have to find
I
out.
wanted you to say it on the show, so like there's like a whole bunch of men looking to tickle you in the future.
Yeah,
No.
like a Pillsbury Doughboy.
By the way, I heard this from Dimitri Martin. He's a comedian. He says if ever someone asks you if you're ticklish,
Oh, the
and
clock,
they're
guys.
going to tickle you. It's after clock. They're going to tickle you whether you like it or not. So the only correct answer is if you touch me, I'm gonna poop. I have diarrhea.
Or hey,
Okay.
I'll piss myself.
Yeah.
I mean,
People
sure.
say, I'll
Teach
urinate
their own.
myself. Yeah, that's it. All right,
But
so
then again, like if you pissed yourself, what do I care? I'm gonna tickle you anyway.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Welcome to Calling the Audible. We're approaching the final few weeks of the season, and of course, what we call is the knockout stages, not the playoff round.
The knockoff round. Right now we're in the
We're
qualification.
not in a
round.
knockoff
I
round.
don't know what the hell this is, man.
What?
We're in the qualification round.
Now we're in qualification. Yeah, we're working our way towards the knockoff.
When will then be now?
In like 3 weeks.
So soon.
Soon.
Perfect.
Soon will be now. Then.
Yes. So pretty much play out the string of games before you might make the top 4 of your tier to play for a Money Bowl game and stuff. But
Or top 12 for just a bowl period.
yeah, exactly. Let's just quickly go into it. Our winter registration underway. December 5th or 6th is the deadline to Eagle Peeze. Is that what I'm...
I mean, that's the target right now, yes.
Right. So please enter. And there's... Look, I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting questions from various teams across the board about the team caps, the division caps for their team. So if there's any questions or you have any issues, just submit your email to the league, and they'll tell you the best case scenario of what you can do with your team or with your player that might be a little bit high, a little bit too rich for the food of where you want to be for your division.
Also, keep in mind, we are processing all these requests. There is a form to fill in, so we've done a lot of reviews right now, so keep submitting them. Also, if you have a balance, like a credit essentially from one of the past seasons where you just didn't register for the kind of seasons we've done more recently, feel free to reach out. We'll tell you what your balance is, and you can apply that towards your next season.
Yeah.
Hashtag NR.
Hashtag anyone who has a balance.
Oh, if you remember that message he wrote on the Facebook group.
Sure.
I don't remember.
Oh, I remember.
I don't have a credit.
Mo likes to make enemies off of things that happened a long time ago.
How can I get a credit, Eagle?
You may already have one, question mark?
Cool.
Inquire if you have a credit or not. But, of course, winter registration well underway. And the target date is December 5th, 6th, that week, to finalize your submission to the league. And, of course, we will begin the winter year January 8th.
Yeah.
Saturday nights.
Eagle, you said that we're processing requests. Just a reminder that if you'd like to lower your quarterback rating, you're soft. That is all.
That's it.
That's all. That's all I gotta say.
So, do we have any quarterbacks you want to single out then that has requested to lower their cap number?
We had one quarterback. I'm not going to name
him!
names. No.
Business,
I'm not going to
business.
shame someone,
No,
but
business.
they basically asked us to drop them 25 points because they haven't
Oh.
played in 2 years. And I'm like, yes,
Simon?
you and half the
Simon
league.
Dagenet? Simon Dagenet, would you drop him 25 points?
I wish it was Simon.
I
Dagenet, 'cause
knew
would
it.
just
Okay,
laugh.
so this, out of curiosity, is this like without specifying the division, a high end or low end quarterback?
It was a middle tier. They were going to have to play Div 4. They wanted to play Div 6. And we said, no.
Oh boy, that's a big drop. I thought maybe like Div 2 to Div 3 ish, but
Soft. With a W.
okay, all right then, fair enough then. And then of course, rules committee, the announcements will come out progressively. So please, it doesn't annoy me even more than it does now when there's rules that have been agreed upon years ago, and people ask, "Wait a minute, that's not in the rule book." I go, "Yes, it was agreed upon." For example, the bat snap for the quarterback, right? Back in the day,
Love that rule, by the way.
right? Back in the day, the bat snap, plays blown dead, bing bang boom, right? We changed it now. We're up to the referee's discretion. Hey, if the quarterback picks it up in time before getting rammed, play on.
We actually changed it twice.
Yeah.
Right. So there's teams, longtime teams who are still in this league who during a play, remember this happened now in the Fall Cup. Ref, it should be blown dead. Well, why is it not blown dead on the snap? No, we changed that rule. When? Years ago. I didn't know. Well, you've been in the league for years, so.
We even italicized the new rules or the change of rules so you can see exactly which ones it are.
Sorry, officer, I didn't know there were speed limits.
Oh, I didn't know there was a
Try that
traffic
one. See how it goes.
I mean, even then, they put up the thing, nouveau signalisation, to tell you they changed the speed limit in a zone.
We do that with our rule book, too.
Yeah, we do. That's exactly it. We do the exact same thing.
Honestly, before we get to the topics here, percentage-wise, how many players in this league read the rule book?
You should. All of them should, or at least captains.
Well, okay, put it this way. Let's say there's 8 people on a team. One of them is captain, so you're looking at 12%. Let's say less than half of them read it, so maybe 6% of all players, maybe 10 tops.
But then you can't be surprised when you get a rule wrong, right? Like if you didn't read it, fine, but then trust the ref.
Yep.
And I had someone tell me, well, relating to that rule specifically, like, well, but like the ref called it this way. Why was it not blown dead this time, but this time it was blown dead? Like, well, the ref is a judge. They're making a judgment. That's their job.
Well, you know what? I'm going to make fun of Iggy Magnets, who will join us in this podcast.
Nice. Iggy's coming on. That's great.
Yeah, he botched the rule when he should have known the rule. I gave him an opportunity to write a 20-page essay on why he botched that rule. Mm-hmm. So we'll find out from why he.
Why would he ever do that, though?
I'll just kind of rough him up a little bit.
No, but why would he ever write a 20-page essay?
Because I wanted to.
Yes, but why?
Well, the alternative was come on the show. He chose that.
There's 3 options.
But he's going to do it anyways? I don't understand.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Otherwise, you might know it's a 20-page
All right,
essay.
so the topic du jour is, should we tickle Eagle's tummy
Yeah.
during this podcast? I think we should. We should, PZ.
Well, I don't have any animal crackers. I should have brought them with me. It's my fault.
You know who I think should get a chance to tickle my tummy, Mo?
Hey, whatever you want, that's your business. That ain't my business. That ain't my business.
But you know it is your business.
Yes, I know, because I'm about to tickle your tummy right now, you know. My fingers are very itchy to come tickle your tummy. All right, we'll get to that point afterwards. Let's talk about the week that was. Teams that are rising and sliding, trying to get themselves into the top 4 Peeze. We're getting closer and closer, and we're starting to see a separation in the tiers. But there is some teams hanging on to that elusive 4th spot, just above the dotted line for the Money Bowl games here. What has caught your attention from either Tier 1, 2, 3, or Co-Ed, for that matter?
Well, I'll start in Tier 3, Mo, because it's the page that I currently have open.
So I have to buy you time now as that page is
open.
No,
it's open. It's open. And so you're talking about the teams just outside the top 4?
Yeah, teams that now are trying to get into that top 4, right? There's still teams holding on for that dear life to get into that top 4 of the...
Well, interestingly, since Eagle has declared Save a Horse the greatest team to ever play FPF, they have not won a game. So they now lead a contingent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams at 4 and 2, all competing for that final spot in the cash bracket. Interestingly enough, Eagle, have we ever thought about weighting the qualification games slightly more heavily because, like, you're now playing in a different level of competition?
We had a bunch of conversations.
I know we did. I was just setting up, you to tell us about them.
I mean, yes, we've done multiple different iterations of how we could have broken them up, whether they're worth more, like 2 points, 3 points, etc. We decided, no, let's not do that and keep it like this, but it was definitely something we considered.
So I did watch that game, Save a Horse against 7th rounders.
That's what I want to bring up, because on the other side of this, 7 rounders have looked great in the qualification.
They've improved week by week.
And actually, Mo, on that topic, everyone can watch that game because that is the game of the week just uploaded by Chris Reeve. I mean, by now you would have watched it already, maybe, but if you haven't, check it out.
If perhaps you don't follow us on social media and just consume the podcast on Spotify or whatever.
Social media?
No, but you might get it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Or if you just do the YouTube thing but don't do the other social media, you might not have seen the post for Game of the Week. So do check it out.
So this was an evenly played game in terms of the skill sets, right? It was a low-scoring affair in the first half. Save a Horse did not really have the deep ball going in their favor in the early going of this matchup here. And I just thought 7th rounders had a really good game plan on both sides of the football. And I just, from the perspective from what I've seen from Save a Horse so far through the games I've witnessed up until this game that I saw in St. Laurent on Monday, they just did not have that cutting edge required that they were missing. And funny enough, Peeze, they had like a big crowd on hand. There must have been like 20, 30 people of the Save a Horse fan base out there. and they, under the spotlight, froze like a deer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's to me, it's what I thought might happen. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mo, but you've seen them now in person.
Yes, I have.
As great as Kyle Daniel is in terms of just a raw skill set, the playbook needs work, right? Like there needs to be more nuance to the play calling and how he reads the field, and I think this is what it comes down to. He needs to take what's
but according to Eagle, this is a Div 3 team.
Yeah.
By the way, Mo, the expression is freeze up like a deer, not freeze like a deer.
Don't they just freeze?
No, they're not cold. They stop.
Maybe they stop because they're cold. I mean, I've seen a deer in a fridge. They're not
Yes.
moving.
After being shot up.
Oh, that's possibly the reason. That's possibly the
Yes,
reason.
of course.
And you can also call it like a deer in headlights is the other
Yeah,
one.
that's the one I've actually
Yes.
heard more often, to be
Yes.
fair.
Freeze like a deer.
Walk like an Egyptian, freeze like a deer.
Of course.
Both could have been great songs, but only
Of
one
course.
was.
So after Eagles' proclamation that, hey, this is a Div 3 team, they're not a Div 3
They've
team.
frozen like a deer.
Yeah.
In fact, next season, instead of Save a Horse, you should be called Freeze a Deer.
Freeze a deer, exactly. Frozen deer at its finest.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought might be the issue, given the fact that, look, you know, it's a lot of low percentage throws. It's a lot of throws that have guys having to win sort of those 50-50 matchups, going to get balls in the air, and how just in general, just even marching the field, you need to take what's in front of you at times. And the defenses that they're gonna face are gonna get better and better and better, and that's gonna continue to present an issue. I want to talk about Mangoose.
Yeah, big win for them against
Yeah.
ECW. And
That's a huge one because they're competing for that last spot, right?
yeah, I scored out that game, and even though ECW made a comeback early in the first half to tie it up, they just know each other because they're all
Yeah.
boys. So it wasn't as if, oh, we don't know what's going to happen. They knew what throw was going to happen. They knew what play Jeremy was going to do. They knew what Nick Schaefer was going to do as a quarterback, but couldn't stop it. But this was a really good game from start to finish, and it was probably the best game Mangoose has had, albeit, again, they're playing their buddies. But definitely gives them the inside edge towards that final playoff spot or the final knockout spot for the Final Four.
Is anyone surprised there was zero defense in this game?
No, of course not.
Well, no, in defense there was defense. I mean, there was a few punts in this football game. If you look at the
Punts?
yeah,
Soft.
yeah. If you look at the scorecard of what it was, there were, I think,
There's
two punts.
one punt per side.
Yeah,
Still though, like so, on a game that had 7 possessions on one side, 8 possessions on the other side, you assume 1.5 ones end the game. To score 9 touchdowns, that's still pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Still pretty impressive.
Look at those fourth down percentage conversions. That was awful. 0 for 3 and 1 for 3. Oof.
Yeah,
Do we
but the
see-
fact that they only got the 4th down 3 times on both sides is pretty awesome.
But you know what?
Offensively,
What was the telltale sign was the opening drive for Mangoose, because I think it was like a 10-play drive, and that took a lot of time off the
it
clock.
was like that horrendous San Francisco 49ers drive against the Jaguars this weekend that wasted the early portion of my red zone experience.
Perhaps, yes. It could
Yeah,
have
it
been
felt
that.
it felt like that, I imagine. No, it's cool. Like honestly, I don't know if you saw this, Mo. I put out an article today about 11 teams. I did a write up on 11 teams.
It's a lot of teams.
And kind of replacing sort of our power rankings and somewhat replacing our midseason report cards because we don't really do that in fall. It's hard because we cover all divisions. We don't just cover individual divisions.
And it's not really a proper season per se.
It's
because
yeah, it's just a different kind of season. So
Yeah.
we tried to introduce some new features. That's one of the features. And I discussed Mangoose, and I said, one of the things about Mangoose is they kind of need to have secondary guys step it up. And you see like Christophe Lapointe getting 6 catches. Marc-Antoine Chaput also being targeted 7 times. So it was more than just Thomas Coutu. Felix Antoine Lavigne also getting targeted 7 times. So like I think Nick Schaefer, like these are his boys. He should be that comfortable with everyone around him to get them the ball, and it doesn't always feel that way. So again, you were there in person. Did you feel like that was playing to his strengths?
Yeah, no, I mean, he targeted Tomakatu like 13 times, I think.
Obviously he's the most, right? Like,
He's the most.
but like still getting 7 targets to 3 other guys.
yeah, I mean, it's a better distribution of what he did on Monday in Saint Laurent, but I just don't know I mean, look, if they're playing KGP, I don't know if they can do the same thing because to go back to my point, they know each other. So the comfort level of, hey, I know what to run against this guy because we've played football 5 million times against each other, whether it's here or somewhere else. But I don't know if they can execute that game plan against better teams that have more speed or more of an instinct to find the football in the air than other teams like this team would in ECW. So I just think that from Nick Schaefer's perspective and what he has done so far, I mean, for example, they had a game, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where they got blown out from the get-go. I think it was against Blessed, where it was over after the first 20 minutes of play. But in the second half, they showed a little bit more bite to their flow. But at that point, it was all for naught because the game was well in control. Nothing was going to happen in that moment. So I think for Schaefer, he's got to diversify the palette, so to speak, here and get different plays and get certain guys that might be in a better matchup that could win that 50-50. And if he can't do that now, we'll see what they do for the winter season. But again, it's just that comfort level, what he saw, was able to execute it to perfection on Monday nights.
Yeah, agreed. Tier 2, that bubble that we're looking at, just the outside looking in. I'll toss you the teams. You tell me which one you want to talk about.
Yeah.
We got Bruins, Hot Sauce Sports, Los Siete Amigos, Useless Diablos, and Centaur, all at 3-3.
Well, I think,
Pick a team.
Pick a team.
Yeah, I'm just thinking here, but I'm just trying to remember what team that I saw more recently. So I saw LSA play.
Mm-hmm.
Come back, win over Centaur on Monday night. A good point was brought to me by a referee. I won't say who it was because we don't want to put referees in position that, hey, maybe, were they doing this? There's no slant. There's an objective view. But referee said to me, when these guys want to play, they're really good. When they bleep around and mess around and, they fall behind, as they did against Centaur, they're down by 2 scores. And then all of a sudden they just turn on the light switch and bam, there they go. They score and they win. And I was disappointed by Centaur's play calling because they could have easily won that football game over LSA. They were up by 2 scores in the second half and just couldn't find the kill shot when they were inside the red zone on 4 plays. Peeze could not find the touchdown. Next drive, bam, LSA scores, and that essentially was the game-winning touchdown. Yeah,
it's I've always been impressed with LSA. They bounced me from the playoffs when we were both in Div 6, so been a fan of what they do for quite some time.
You can play them this Sunday.
We do. Well, that's the thing. We end against Los Siete Amigos and Centaur. So a lot of cannibalism going on at this point in the season in this section. What's interesting is if you had told me the final score, I would have said, Centaur win that game. Because the high-scoring affair, I always feel that favors Jordan Rossi. It favors what it is that Centaur do. Mm-hmm. Los Siete Amigos are a very stout defensive unit, but not a team that scores a ton, right?
Yeah.
But yet, Dawson Pierre, uncoverable in this game, catches 3 touchdowns. Alisson Fafar, not the most efficient, but looks like they got some help on defense. He was able to move the ball and score. He got 82 yards on the ground as well. He's really good. He's a really good athlete. And there's a lot of really good athletes on the Centaur side as well. So the fact that he was able to break free and run 9 times for 82 yards,
so
really impressive.
Here's where the downfall was. I'm not going to blame her because that's not to her fault. It's the fact that they didn't put her in position to succeed. Sophie Bourgeois was playing the game. She didn't have cleats. She was wearing literally trainers on the turf at St. Laurent. And heaven forbid, thank God she didn't break an ankle on it. But, when you got a quarterback like that, he knew. He's like, it's not going to happen. She's not going to rush me. I can buy myself time in the pocket, run for 17, 18 yards. And then they put a spy to help out Bourgeois.
Oh, my God.
And guess what he did, right? He went right by 2 of those guys and got 18 yards per carry practically. And
not only that, you're taking somebody out of coverage.
Yeah,
basically.
and that left, as you said, Dawson Pierre wide open for catches, and then that was their downfall. So I just think that was a terrible game plan from Centaur and how they adopted.
So I don't wear cleats, but also Mo, I don't run. I don't cut. If you're playing rusher, you got to cut. You got to be able to make quick moves, and you need to have the support.
Oh, breaking news, by the way. Chris Rivest has signed Kevin Bustani to his winter team.
All right.
And then I told Chris I'm going to screw it up with you and Bustani, right? Kevin Bustani was changing one end of the football field. Centaur's on the other side. I go, Chris, what's up with you? What do you mean? I go, your future teammate's just chilling by himself. You didn't tell him that they're on the side? No. go, hey Kev, you're on the other side, pal. I go, Kev, this is your captain right here, huh? This is your guy that's going to lead you to victory when he doesn't even tell you that, hey, your team's changing on the other side.
Yeah. Sadness.
And Bustani had this little doubt in his mind, like, oh, maybe I should go somewhere else. Maybe Hot Sauce Sports may need my.
Hey, Hot Sauce Sports, a couple of spots on the roster, so hit me up, Kev.
Co-ed, did anything catch your mind in the co-ed?
So I can actually talk co-ed this week because half of the games were played by Kiss My End Zone, a team that I don't like to talk about because it's my team. But I wasn't there. I didn't play this week because of my injury. Kiss My End Zone won both games. It's pretty cool to see that other than that loss to Easy Fun, it's a team that's really come together. And most importantly, beat Yin and Yang twice so far this season.
Right.
So that in itself is a win because beating Gino, good feeling.
There is that it's kind of like a college football team.
Yeah.
You know, when you run up the score.
There's definitely a rivalry between the two teams, right? So I caught on as soon as I got there, and I was like, yeah, this will be fun. You know what I mean? So it's definitely like a pleasant rivalry. Like nobody's trying to hurt anybody. It's really cool. And Abigail Cockerton for Kiss My End Zone, as reliable a snapper as there is. So for a while, her stats weren't being caught. It was one of the ways we found one of the issues that we've since corrected on the website. And it's really impressive to see her development in the league. And Erica Dubois also catching a touchdown in this game. She doesn't even play offense that often, so it's cool to see her getting involved in that side of the ball.
Speaking of Dubois, before we get to our topics, the Prime Minister crushing Eagles lockdown last week.
Well, I mean, everyone
pick six, deep ball over Eagle for a touchdown. Eagles like, oh,
that wasn't over me.
It was a zone coverage.
Cover two. He runs a post. I hand it off, and they have a center on a deep hook, and my safety doesn't go.
Blah, blah, blah. He was in trail, and he got burnt.
I'm in trail on a post. What are you going to do?
He got burnt.
No man behind, man.
The other safety to undercut it.
So who was the safety that didn't cover? Names.
Tyler's Nog, I think is his name.
Yeah, you guys.
Come on,
you
Tyler.
got some weird names.
Come on, Tyler.
He plays in the MFL, so clearly.
You know.
And then on top of it,
gotta get some more training. Then maybe some more time in MFL.
Anyway,
get on that Stephen Harpersod level, or that Terry Babelis level.
Babylon Club. All right, so let's get to the topics here. So as we approach now the final few weeks of the season, top four, look at tier 2, or tier 3, beg your pardon, for what will happen. So when we look at it right now, Peeze, we're starting to get a picture of who will be the four that will be in the Money Bowl game, correct?
Ish, but like we talked about, there's tons of teams. Like in tier 3, we don't have a picture because there's 6 teams that are technically tied for that 4 spot.
Yes.
What would the picture be of? If there were to be a picture,
a blob of paint of different colors.
Oh no! Like an old timey robber.
Why is he tensing up though, Eagle? Look at him. He's like, look at his shoulders. He's doing shoulder. Like,
Art makes him tense.
No, it's because my headset was about to fall off, and I was trying to hold it.
You're literally doing like a shoulder shrug.
I think it's because art makes you tense. I think it's the old timey robber carrying the bag with the money sign on it. That or like a Brinks truck mid explosion, but like an impressionist version of that. You know, like just really pretty colors, maybe some little paint dabs. Really sell the explosion.
Was that New Yankee painting? Was that on PBS?
What?
Find out for me.
Why would we watch PBS?
Back in the day, I used to watch. Eagle, find out for me. PBS Yankee painting, please. Look up the name of the show, please. Thank you. No. Eagle, if you don't mind, please. I'll come tickle your tongue right now.
There's Bob Ross, and everyone else on TV was trash. Well,
I hope Eagle finds out for me right now.
He is. He's totally looking up.
I think he's upset because I said tickle his tummy.
No, I figured out something that someone did, and it works, but it's okay because they lost this week.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I'll tell you later.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Yeah, I found out for me you PBS New Yankee.
Oh, I think. Yes, we'll talk about that later. I thought about it too.
All right, so we look at it now. That
usual suspects. Sorry.
Perfect. We can probably put the G to that name. All right. So the 4th spot still up for grabs.
Yeah.
And
I thought we did that.
Yes, I know. But I just don't know who the clear-cut team will be to get that 4th spot. I mean,
in which tier?
In tier 3.
Well, that's the thing is you have 6 teams tied there. So Save a Horse is sliding hard.
FSU sliding hard as well.
FSU sliding hard as well.
West Yard, I don't know any more about these guys.
Man, so every time we say they're awesome, they lose. Every time we say they suck, they win. I don't know. They seem very matchup dependent. 7th rounders look great.
I think that might be the play. Them and PMS starting to pick up the swag.
Save the Turtles. Turtles. They come along too.
They could. I think that if there's 3 that you can say you feel comfortable with, yeah, I'll put Turtles, PMS, and 7th rounds to vie for that 4th spot. Save a Horse.
Here's the thing. Save the Turtles. Last 2 games. Lockdown, the Stormers.
Yeah, they should win those games.
It's a win-up.
So, but the thing is, I look at Save a Horse. Their final 2 games are relatively easier than what they had in the prior 2 games. So I think they might jump back into the picture here. But PMS, like there's you just pick a team and you hope that that's the winning ticket for that horse race that you're looking for in Preakness and stuff. But I think there might be 3 that can vie for that 4th spot, and the other teams might be sliding down the ladder here at this moment.
Yeah, the thing with Save a Horse, you mentioned it. They play the West Yard, so maybe. Although you've been down in the Killer Rays for some reason, they're really good.
Where are they right now, Peezler?
I don't know, but I don't.
2 and 2.
They're not worse than Lockdown and Stormers.
But here's the thing, right? If the Rays were to lose this week, and say for example, Save a Horse were to win,
because like they're 2-2-2. So they're literally 2 points from being 4-2 and being in the tie.
But they need to win out, though.
They're 2 converts from being in that list of 4-2 teams.
They could be, but they're not.
No, but they clearly, like, it's literally been the difference, is a couple of bounces.
Your record indicates what you are.
Nah, not really. That's why we have a show. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a show. There would just be a standings page.
They're 2 and 2. The record.
So wait. Your job, an analyst's job, is not to analyze; it's to read standings.
I'm just saying. Bill Parcells once said, "Your record indicates who you are."
I understand that. But you're saying that what you do for a living doesn't exist.
I'm just saying those
doesn't exist.
You can get away with 1 tie, but 2 ties I think is going to hurt you in the final run for that final 4 spot.
What? Not if they win 2 games?
Why would it hurt you, Mo?
Why would it hurt you? Simple as this: you have 2 ties, right?
Yes.
So 2 ties is 2 ties too many for my liking right now. Give me wins or give
his
me
answer
losses.
is standings.
Yes.
The
Standings,
question
my
is,
friend.
but Mo, why do standings matter? And his
wow.
answer is standings.
I don't think he even knows the tiebreak is the worst part.
Well, what's
Because
the
that's the very obvious answer to still do
wins.
standings, but at least have value in
Because
standings.
wins is the first tiebreaker.
Of course.
But the thing is, in the point, I'm not saying that they'll jump up. I'm saying that they're a tough out for Save a Horse because they're literally 2 extra points away from having the same record as Save a Horse.
But they're not. They are 2 ties more than
All right,
before.
wait to hear my analysis for the rest of the show.
Don't worry. Killer Horses or Killer Rays?
But here's the thing about Save a Horse.
Yeah.
They're 0-2 this round.
Yes, they are. They have
So
not
they're a
played well.
winless team. Mo, you're talking about a team that can't win because standings.
And they might put together that run.
They can't. They
But-
can't.
but-
You are your stand. You are what the record says
Exactly.
you are. They're 0-2.
But they're 4 and 2 on the
No,
record.
no, that's the past. Why don't we talk about last season?
I'm
at
going
that
with the
point?
combined record right now.
No, let's just talk about last season if we're talking about the past.
We can talk about that.
Pincellos are the champions still.
They are.
So there you go. That's all that matters.
But the record says they're not this year. So.
Mo, statistically, that means free agent squad's going to win everything, right?
Yeah,
They
they will
should.
never
Because
lose.
they haven't lost a game yet.
Absolutely, they should win.
They will
everything
never
now.
lose throughout the course of human history.
Best defense, second best defense in tier.
They're already better than the finest
Of
because the
course.
finest has losses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From your
Standings.
So when we look at it now, so we see that it's going to be, I think this is the week we'll see some separation in terms of the teams that are going to be.
I mean, because after this, there's only a single game left, right?
there is.
Like
I would hope.
there's not another week, Eagle, right? Like
No,
it's
there's 2 more.
yeah. So the double headers and stuff make it so that
Yeah, there's
it's
2 more
ending
weeks
this
No,
left.
we have 2 weeks.
2 weeks. This week.
I
And
know, but
next
I'm saying after this week, there's 1 left.
Yes.
week. Yes.
That's how 2 works.
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys.
Standings.
I'm really tired. I'm doing too many things. I'm tired.
I know you are. So we look at it now. This is the week I think we'll see the turn where there will be teams that will fall out of the wayside, and that this division will start seeing a clear picture for next week when we get back to it.
Yeah.
Into it. So we'll see what happens with that. Look for tier 2 and how this is going to be. Look, Arush, their final 2 games is Ravens and Ethnic. That's not
Ravens
easy.
have struggled.
They have struggled. They have struggled indeed, and the thing is, I don't think it'll be easy now for Arush, but with them still being where they're at right now, Peeze, could they still hold on to the first place with this death throw of games coming
Well,
up for them?
Arush is not technically in first place.
Well,
They're third. They
yes,
have a
third place.
tie.
Yes, that's right. I
The
forgot
tie
about
will
that.
hurt them.
The tie will hurt them actually in the whole process here.
Well, in terms of finishing first, it may actually because they need. If you look at what Chocolate Thunder's got left ahead of them, they face Ravens and Grim Reapers. So there's no big matchup between the top two teams. So
No.
theoretically,
But Arush did beat them, Thunder, back in week 1.
but that won't matter.
No, it won't.
Because if like both the teams ahead of them can win out. Both
Yeah.
Team Ethnic and Chocolate Thunder can win out, and Arush would still be in third even if they win out.
Yeah.
So it's it makes it difficult to really see them jumping anybody. But again, to me, that cluster in the middle of Bruins, Hot Sauce Sports, Los Siete Amigos, Unexpected Diablos, Centaurs, even Ravens 2-3-1, Mean Machine 2-3-1. Man, that's a close race. I think the playoff teams are pretty much decided because of tie breaks and all that.
Yeah.
But
All those ties, Jesus.
Those ties, man, they're going to hurt teams in the long run.
But yeah, like essentially, like I can imagine a lot of these teams in that group that I talked about.
Yeah.
Like there's games between them, so a lot of those 3 wins are going to turn to 4 wins, which are going to make, Ravens won't be able to catch, Mean Machine won't be able to catch, Tough Lanes won't be able to catch per se. So it'll be tough.
I agree. I don't think Tough Lungs, Machine, or Ravens have a chance to get into that top 4. But if you look at Santar, who I don't think them two, I think we'll put in that equation that they don't probably have the horsepower to catch up to them. But you're right. That cluster, that traffic of teams of Hot Sauce, LSA, Usus Diablos, and Bruins, they can definitely jump over the Green Reapers. But the Reapers now, I wonder, because they have a tough schedule themselves for their final 2 games, and they could easily fall behind.
But the Reapers have been impressive overall this fall. Like I don't think anybody thought of them as a cash team heading in.
No. But they do play the Bruins and Thunder, right? So that Bruins game is like elimination for that 4th spot. So loser probably is in trouble.
Like if you think of it, like they played Arush. And they got it was a blowout, but it's the first game, and it's a while since it's been a while since Dylan Della was thrown in this league, right?
Yeah.
Also, Roy Submergent was out for the first few weeks. They win a tight game to Hot Sauce Sports, one of those teams in the mix. They win a tight game against Los Siete Amigos, one of those teams in the mix. They lose a game. They beat the Ravens, which I thought was a big win for them. And then they lose by a single point to Unexpected Diablos. It feels like they need to do everything perfect to win a game. You know what I mean? Like the margin for them is razor thin.
Mm-hmm.
And it just comes down to whether or not the defense can get that extra stop, and allow for their offense to carry them. And they haven't, in some situations worked out, and others it hasn't. And that's going to be interesting because, again, the last 2 games, not easy games.
Yeah, and again, for Grim Reapers, they can easily jump over a couple of these top 3 teams, because if they beat the Bruins, they go to 5-2, and they got Thunder last game of the year.
I think this is a bad matchup for them because
With
Dylan
the
Della
Bruins?
loves to show off his arm, and Bruins play this soft shell cover 3, like it's a 4-1, but it's basically a cover 3.
Yeah.
And that plays that is gonna frustrate Dylan Della because he won't be able to take the top off. So he needs to be really on his game and really disciplined to take the checkdowns. And I don't know if he's there in his mindset to do that. I don't know if it's what he wants to do.
Patience of going out there and
Like the game against Unexpected Diablos, that's what he wants to do. Like that's him, slinging it and just being really good. He did throw 2 interceptions, but he threw for 230 plus yards, 6 touchdowns. And look, he's stretching the field, he's moving the ball. It's what he wants to do. So I'm curious to see if in a different kind of game he can just take what's there.
I have some fun here for you at the bottom of the pool as well. Right now we have KGP Raw, Glowgang, and Pinchellos on the outside looking in, but all technically eligible to come into any of those kind of bottom bowls. I don't think they can get to the top bowls. They need a lot of luck along the way.
They won't get that.
A couple of things of note. Pinchellos will be missing Vince Romano for the next 2 weeks due to a suspension. We're not going to spend too much time talking about it, but long story short, don't talk shit to the other team.
So more importantly, because look, there's banter and there's going to be talk. That's just a part of sports. But the one thing, and I've spoken directly to Vince about this, he recognizes the issue, but you can't threaten another player, right?
No.
FPF takes that seriously. That's going to be a suspension. But I think where this paralyzes Pincellos is not just not having their quarterback, but now you got to use Jocelyn Calix, your best receiver,
So
as a
you weaken
quarterback.
your position.
So you weaken the team across the board.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is because 13, 14, 15, here's the schedule for these teams. So Pincellos plays Centaur and KGP Ra. Glow Gang play Mean Machine, sitting right now in that 11th spot. And then they also play KGP Ra, like I just mentioned. You have KGP, who will play the Pincellos and Glow Gang. So there's like a little like menage a trois going on over there. In the meantime, Tough Lungs play Unexpected Diablos and Team Ethnic. And Mean Machine are going to play Glow Gang, like I just mentioned, and Los Siete Amigos. So those bottom 5 teams are basically playing cannibalism with each other.
Yeah. So
is that a game you like to play, Eagle? You seem very happy about the idea of playing.
I like this whole like.
Watered.
It was weird. It was weird.
You know those like NFL flowcharts where it's like, yeah, Vikings beat Packers, who beat these, who beat them, and then it kind of does the full circle all the way around. It's gonna feel like one of those by the end of the.
That's like Eagles' wheelhouse, right? That whole flow chart of.
But there's also the difficulty for KGP Raw, Glow Gang, and Pincellos is they've lost to so many teams above them that any head-to-head tiebreakers they pretty much don't have.
Depending on the points, though, right? I mean, that tie that
but
Glow Gang has might be the tiebreaker. Pun intended.
Yeah, fair.
Perhaps.
But unless it depends on who the head-to-head is with who.
I still think Pincellos will factor in. I mean, with no Vince Romano now for the final 2 games of this portion, I can't see them competing and keeping up with
I think Pincellos have improved greatly over a short period of time. I think they're out of their depth in this tier.
Yeah, they're outside the weight class.
This is, tier 2 is not just jumping up from Div 6 to Div 5. It's jumping up to like Div 5A/Div 4.
It's sort of like that high school that goes and plays SEC football in this high school.
It's like Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they need a couple years in the gym to get themselves up to physical level of competing with these teams.
It's not physical. It's not because they have the athletes. They don't understand the game. Like, Kevin Wyeth is not the greatest athlete to play quarterback in FPF. He's just the most intelligent quarterback to play the game in FPF.
One thing will be clear about this. Glow Gang has both their games in week 3, so they will be at 8 games played, and we will know whether they're in or out, hopefully, by that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of this actually gets settled this week. Well, because of all the games against each other, I think it actually clarifies the
And not only that, though, I mean, you suffer one loss. If you suffer a loss this week, you're in severe trouble. Like, you're in deep trouble to get into that bottom tier bowl games. That's going to come up in the next few weeks here. Look, tier 1, we talked about it before. It's kind of muddled with those 1-on-1 teams. We mentioned about EZW and Mangoose and how Mangoose gained that victory. They will play each other again in the return matchup this week.
If Mangoose wins that game, we might see champion KGP on the outside looking in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fascinating, but again, do we expect KGB to lose at any point here because their schedule they have left here?
Well, they face Okay, they face Mangoose.
Yeah, so they
so as fun as the Mangoose story is, it would have been more interesting if ECW won because if ECW gets the sweep, they likely clinch over KGP.
Yeah.
Whereas Mangoose doesn't have the opportunity because of the tie, because of KGP's tie to Blessed.
Yeah, and look, the loser of the Mangoose ECW game, especially for ECW, if they lose, they're not going to make the playoffs. It's the next round for that top 4.
That's
an elimination game right now. But it's a bit more muddled because again, 2nd through 5th.
Actually, no. Sorry, I thought ECW had a win as well. My mistake. Oh wait.
They do have it. They have a.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at combined. I hate the way our site treats the fall.
It's a bit of a horse bleep.
Combined needs to be the preference.
Yes, a qualification round can be omitted from the process.
Just put it all together, and then if I want to see the other rounds, I'll look at them.
Exactly, do like a drop down.
Same with stats.
Yeah, team stats.
Eagle taking notes.
Oh, this has been noted a long time ago.
Perfect.
Okay. Can you refresh the notes?
Yeah, send it to the proper channels.
At this point, I need to talk to the union lead.
Oh. Who is our union leader, by the way?
I wish we had one.
We can make one.
It wouldn't matter.
Sadly, it wouldn't.
So, the Ursos Medic, I'm a bit surprised by them. I don't know what's happening this year. I mean, at 3-3, I thought they would have been up there with Blessed.
It feels like they're beating themselves in a lot of these games.
And also, maybe not taking it too seriously.
I don't know. Like, I saw them against Blessed. They wanted that game.
Yeah.
They wanted that game, and they had that game, and they lost it. I like this week they didn't have Justice Dupuis, so like all respect to Marc-Antoine Vallée for filling in. Filling in tier 1 is
Not easy.
Is a nightmare. So congrats to just showing some balls, but yeah, you're not winning that game. Although KGP was also without their quarterback in this game, you know what I mean? So Kwesi Gordon Mall, he did everything he could. He managed the game well, added some on the ground as you'd expect. If you'd have told me before the game it's going to be Kwesi going up against Marc-Antoine Vallée, I'd probably take KGP. I don't take them by the score.
Right.
I never imagined 42-0.
Right. Before we get to Iggy Magnets in the coming minute or so, quickly here for co-ed, anything to look forward to? I think we have our 4 Lassac valiant effort, but it looks like they're going to come up short this year and may not factor into the whole picture for the top 4 of co-ed.
The key for the big battle in co-ed is going to be between Easy Fun and Kiss My End Zone, because you want to be in a situation where, like, we know, you know, without insulting The Rock, without insulting Lassac, there's a line of delineation, right? The 3 best teams in co-ed very clearly are Easy Fun, Kiss My End Zone, and Yin and Yang, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of me, Peeze, the quarterback at Kiss My End Zone, I don't want to face both Easy Fun and Yin and Yang to win a bowl. I'd rather beat Easy Fun, somehow get the tiebreak, and then have to face only Yin and Yang or Easy Fun on the path. You know what I mean?
One of those two.
One of the two. Whereas whoever finishes second has to go through both.
Yeah, your course, your path is a lot easier if you get that 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
At this moment of the time here. But Yin and Yang could easily beat one of the top 2 teams, whether it's you guys or Easy Fun.
I don't think so. I think that there's the top 2 teams are strong across the board. There's a lot of depth in both Easy Fun and Kiss My End Zone, where I think Yin and Yang is top heavy, but also I don't know. It feels like no one's really at their strength.
Right.
I'd rather see Kwesi Gordon Mall as a receiver. Gino DeFazio's playing a little too much defense for my liking, for me to see the strongest version of them. They don't rush Marie-Lou Côté-Noël constantly. To me, she would be the lock-it-up starter at rush the entire time. Like, she's an elite pass rusher. Use your elite pass rusher. You know what I mean? So there's something about the team build, although I can't, because there's talent across the board, so I can't specify what it is specifically, but there does seem to be a lack of depth at some point, whereas Easy Fun and Kiss My End Zone don't seem to.
All right. So Iggy Magnets will be joining us now? Or?
He will not, Mo, because he was under the impression that he wasn't actually invited to this show.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to God.
Want to call him anyway? See what
It's
happens?
almost like you need to communicate better instead of waiting for us to meet in person to then tell people, oh, by the way, this is what's happening.
I told him yesterday.
In his words, I thought he was joking, and he didn't put it in the script, is another way he could have told you.
But he's not even in the
He
script.
does have a point for not putting it in the script, to be fair.
But it's in the script, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Iggy Magnets. Why did he not know the rule of when 6 points are
Yeah.
being awarded because his team is late?
Yeah, Block D is in the script. So what's he talking about?
He was under the impression you were pulling his leg and just wanted to insult him creatively.
No.
All right.
I do have an impromptu guest for you, though.
Who's this?
You will find out once he answers the phone.
Perfect, then. We'll find out who's answering the phone.
What's his
call.
name?
Yeah, we know him.
So Iggy Magnets, unfortunately, did not realize, even though he's in the script, and he's on the thread for this.
I got to give you credit, Mo. He's actually in the script.
Yeah.
And he has access to.
Yes.
So
I don't know what happened with him in order for him to say that, but
we'll never know why he didn't know the rule.
Exactly. I can tell you what happened
Yes, please do.
as the phone is ringing, and I
They
bet
can't hear the phone.
I know.
Yes,
but
they can.
They can? Oh.
no one's gonna answer the phone.
I thought we were
Hello?
professionals here.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who are we talking to?
Who are we talking to, Mo and Peeze? Who can you figure it out? Say a few words just so they can figure out who you are.
Oh, Simon.
Mocon, the Stoics,
Oh.
Peeze, Della,
Oh,
Reeze.
Chris Rivest. How's it going, buddy?
Doing good. How's it going, guys?
Because it took you so long to answer, I was gonna be like, "This guy's boring. Sounds like Simon." But it's Chris Rivet. I'm so happy now.
Yeah, this is a little last minute thing. It's the only way to get me on is by surprise. So yeah, here I am.
I never thought this guy would show up on a podcast, but here he is, Chris Rivet.
So I figure we've spoken to like referees in the past. We obviously spoke to like people who write articles, but we've never spoken to production people before. Maybe for a reason, but we'll find out. Chris does our games of the week. So if you've seen a guy on a field with a camera pointed at your direction, or you like what he does,
he's not a creep.
He's not creepy. I mean, maybe he is,
but not in this context.
Not in this context.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he is.
Yeah, depending what he does.
Maybe.
Yeah,
he's like a peeper creeper.
Imagine like something happens to Chris, and then like we see like his apartment, and then there's like all of this footage that's left behind of like players changing and stuff.
I hope not. Let's not get to that level of.
That's the first place my mind goes. He has like a
so
cabin in the woods.
This is live right now, right? This is actually calling the Audible right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just called the Audible.
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
All right. So Chris,
why would you think this isn't live?
So since we have you here, Chris, since you're the plan F of our options, like you've done this game of the week thing for many years for FPF.
Yeah.
This year, has there been a team or a game that's really caught your attention of how it played out and said, "Wow, this is a really good team or teams involved"?
From the top of my head right now, like any tier, pretty much any tier, tier 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
I really liked seeing Arush the way they played, even though they lost the game that I filmed. But they seemed really, really athletic, a good set of guys. They weren't with their starting QB, so it wasn't maybe their best performance. But even despite that, I found that they played really good. I still think that they have a good chance of going far in that division. Other than that, that's all that comes to mind right now is Arush for some reason. I like saying Arush though. Arush.
Yeah, they're a fun team. I want to first of all compliment you. You've done a great job with Game of the Week since you've started with us. You're a very good visual storyteller, and I wanted to know how is it that you're able to capture sort of like the storylines within a game while it's happening. Like you don't know what's going to happen during the game before you film it, obviously, right? So how is it that you're able to sort of tap into these storylines as it's happening?
It's really I don't really go in there with a preparation or a plan. It's like whatever I see, I try. I know obviously with practice it gets better. Like I wasn't doing this like in my first years, but the more I did it, the more I kind of found like a skeleton of how to go into a game. Like it's like for example, when I listen to the podcast, like in the last game of the week, if I see something that's pertinent to the games I just played, like I'll find like sound clips, I'll put it together, and we just find a way to make it work. Like yes, I know it looks like I'm doing all the work, but it's really like just from like whatever I see from the clips, from the podcast, from the game, and and the audience puts one and one together, and it kind of pans out to be a story. But yeah, I don't have a way of doing it exactly. It's just I guess just practice and
it's like making love.
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that, Peeze.
All right.
Chris, I got one for you here. Having been on Game of the Week a few times, Peeze as well, there's things that we'll do to play into the hype of Game of the Week, I guess. So what do you like seeing from players, or maybe the better question is, what do you not like seeing from players when you have the camera pointed at them? Like, is there something you cut out specifically? Do you want them to like make direct eye contact, to try to avoid it and be subtle? What's your general advice to players?
Just be yourself. I can tell you. I mean, the camera can tell when a player is really trying to show off for the camera. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it works and it's fine, and and I'll use it. But what really works out the most is like the genuine reactions. When players don't even know they're being filmed. I mean, they know they're being filmed, but like when they're genuinely reacting from a play, that's what I'm looking for the most. Like maximizing emotion, whether it's the player screaming. Could be a player looking to into the camera, pointing at the camera, but you can tell when it's genuine and when it's just like, hey, look at me, like I'm on camera. Like I try not to put too much of like that. It's more like just getting that genuine reaction. That's what I'm looking for when I'm in the edit room.
When it comes to the camera angles, have you achieved every desired look for the Game of the Week, or is there other looks that you want to incorporate to this broadcast that you want to say, hey, this is going to really up the level of what the viewers are going to see for the game of the week every single week that we do for FPF.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't explored everything yet. Obviously, what comes to mind is a drone. I would really, really, really like to have a drone for
Which we did have, right, for spring season for a couple games.
We've used Ryan Aridi's drone a couple times, and we used Nim Jankowski's drone a couple times as well, but we don't actually have one in the FPF equipment bank, if we were to call it that.
Yeah. Ryan's drone game. I remember it was. I think I even remember the game. It was 2.5 Dans versus
Brossard.
In Brossard. I forgot the other team, the Cowboys team. They're what's their name?
Longhorns.
Dave Allen's team, yeah.
Longhorns. John Moody was throwing with them back then. It was I remember that game, and I remember seeing it back then, and I'm like, wow, this is something else. And during this season, Nim wrote to me, and he's like, I have a drone. I'm like, you want me to let's try something? I'm like, all right, let's go for it. And Nim went all out. He brought like smoke to the field, or like it was like a smoke screen. He he flew the drone through the smoke. Like he was like all in for this. I'm like, let's do it. And once I posted the final result, I think the reaction from the community was really good. And that's definitely something that I would like to have like as a regular thing for game of the week moving forward, is like that drone view, because that's something about my lens too. My camera is not, I don't have the widest angle. Like sometimes I wish I can film more wide, but I have like kind of a more of a like a zoomed in angle. That's like kind of my lens. So I know when I'm filming sometimes like I want to get more like route running where players could see the more field of view. So I try and move back. But yeah, that's something moving forward to, like maybe wider angles, having 2 camera setups where we can have the wide and the closer angle and like combine it. That could be something that could be interesting moving forward.
Nim moves to Florida right after we did the drone, I believe, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sucks. We could have
He gave us a taste and then took it away. To be honest, I find sometimes it could be a little revealing. For example, now everyone in the world knows about my no-look red zone play, Chris. Thank you very much for exposing that to all of FPF. So you've made my red zone appearances a lot harder since the last couple of appearances on Game of the Week.
That's from myself, I remember. That's what you told me.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But has that happened where guys have told you like, hey, I used to call this a lot, but now since Game of the Week, teams have gotten wise?
No, I haven't gotten any feedback.
I'm the only
on
one,
that.
huh? I gotta get more creative, I guess.
Exposed.
Hey, Chris, do you honestly believe there was drug testing at FPF?
Come again, Mo?
Did you honestly believe there was drug testing at FPF?
No, but sometimes when you talk to me, you have this way of being so serious and a way of being so like. I'm also a gullible person, so it doesn't really help. I'm pretty gullible.
Yeah,
I
you
kind of
got
like
drug
believe.
testing at FPF.
I mean,
if there was drug
to put it in
testing-
perspective, Chris, it's not just you. Iggy wasn't on this call right now because he thought Mo was joking when he said, "I'm going to make fun of you on the show later."
Yeah.
Yeah, I never know, Mo. I never know.
Here's the thing, though, Chris. If there was drug testing in FPF, I would not be allowed to be an employee of FPF. So don't worry about it. We're good.
And perhaps maybe Chris as well. Maybe perhaps.
I would imagine so.
Last question for you. Where are you going to be this week? Who are we filming? Who are we going to watch?
That's a good question. I just finished filming yesterday. Save a Horse versus 7th Rounders. I also filmed the PMS game against Warriors, where Warriors came through without their starting quarterback. I believe it's Mitch Fergenbaum who wasn't there. And that's the next game that's going to be posted. But after that, it really depends on my work schedule. But usually I film Mondays or Wednesdays in Laval or Saint Laurent. For playoffs, though, for the knockout games, I'm going to really free my schedule so I can have Lichine also on Sundays. So the next game is probably going to be on a Monday night. I have to check. I just have to check who's playing Monday night.
And how long does it take you to do the game of the week? It takes you a day and a half?
Again, it depends on my schedule. But if I'm in front of the computer and I have everything ready, graphic is chosen, graphics are done, music is chosen, is selected.
Mm-hmm.
It could take me a good 5 to 6 hours if everything's going well. But since I have a low attention span and I get easily distracted, it could take up to a whole day. I think.
We won't take your attention span away from this whole process. We're gonna let you get back to doing what you're doing. Chris, thank you so much for joining us here on Calling the Audible. Unexpectedly pleasant surprise.
My pleasure, guys.
And Kevin Bustani, man. We had the Kevin Bustani, man. The Bustani train with your team next season.
Did you guys talk about that, or you were
We did.
kidding with me again yesterday?
We announced it on the show.
Yeah, we announced it.
You did? You did?
Yeah. Yeah, Mo told me
I'm
I should
really happy
slide
about
into
that.
his DMs because he said you're a bad teammate. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
All right. We shall see.
All right, Chris.
That
be good.
that pho soup looked really good, by the way, eh?
It did look delicious.
Something, man. She's really, really, really good with she can make something out of nothing. Like, no, I being a butcher, I can bring like anything to the house and she'll transform it into yeah, what you guys saw there. It's really
It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Perfect, Chris. Thanks so much, brother.
Later, dude.
All right. Take care, guys.
See you, Chris. Chris Rivet, the cameraman for Games of the Week.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
That turned out better than I expected.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we had no idea what was coming on, and we
Jeez.
started with like an alternate story where he keeps footage of of players in compromising positions.
Walled up.
Yeah.
It's funny because he was like, well, if you don't mind my awkwardness, let's do this. And I'm like, oh, we can make this awkward.
You definitely can.
I didn't even know you said that.
All right, it is now time to make things even more awkward. It is time for...
Games of the week.
That was really bad. Let's try that again here. Let's make this even more awkward. It is now time for...
I just did it. Games of the week. We're doing the games, Mo, of the week. There's games in a week.
Can you,
We're
like,
gonna
shrug
read
your
them.
shoulders
You're
saying
gonna
it next
pick
time?
them.
Like, games of the... You know?
Why would I shrug my shoulders while
'Cause you
speaking?
look funny doing it when...
Yeah, I know I look
But
funny. My
nobody can
headset
see
was
it.
falling off. That's why I
He's
did
also
it.
not on camera.
I know. We should put a camera on him, bro.
No.
All right, music's on. Let's roll.
We have Tier 1, Urgence Médique, KGP.
UM.
I don't know, man. I guess.
Blessed the Apocalypse.
Blessed.
And a rematch of last week and potentially the coffin, nail in the coffin.
The
Okay.
casket match.
The Frozen Deer, Mangoose, Easy W.
And
ECW.
in the Frozen Deer matchup, I take Easy W.
ECW.
Tier 2, Centaur, Pincellos.
Santal.
Yeah, Centaur.
All that shit you talked about Pincellos, you're going Santal.
Yeah, Centaur.
Los Siete Amigos,
I had a burp, that's
Hot
why.
Sauce Sports.
I can't pick it, so Hot Sauce Sports by 50.
I got hot sauce winning this game.
KGP Raw, Glow Gang.
I'm going to go Raw.
KGP Raw.
And a back-to-back doubleheader, Glow Gang Mean Machine.
Glow Gang.
Mean Machine.
Ravens, Chocolate Thunder.
Thunder.
Chocolate Thunder.
Tough Lungs, Unexpected Diablos.
Tough Lungs.
Team Ethnic, Arush. It's a good game.
Team
Rouge.
Ethnic.
I'm going to go Rouge.
I'll go Team Ethnic.
And Grim Reapers, Bruins.
Reapers.
Bruins, bad matchup for Reapers.
Tier 3, Fighting Cones, Trailer Park Boys.
Cones are playing better. Give me Cones.
I thought you were going to go, Cones are playing better. Give me Trailer Park Boys. Cones are playing better, but
Yeah.
give me Trailer Park Boys.
The Penetrators, Killer Rays.
Penetrators.
I'll go Penetrators.
FSU, 7th Rounders.
7th rounders, baby. False Kings are going to continue on with the trend.
Yeah, you know what? 7 rounders.
Lockdown, Save the Turtles.
Turtles.
Why do you even have to ask? Save the Turtles.
The West Yard, Save a Horse.
Save a horse.
Save a horse. Maybe they get their first win. They're
Yeah.
according to standings, they're 0-2.
Demons, The Stormers.
Demons.
Tie.
Are you actually calling time?
Yeah.
All right. Lionhearts, Warriors.
Warriors.
Toon Squad, Post Malone's Nights.
Post Malone's Nights.
It's on a Sunday if that matters for flights.
PMK. I believe Iggy's here for that game.
Pardon My Swag, Free Agent Squad.
Free Agent Squad.
Tim Brandy, 2 Inches Gang.
Randy.
Tim Brandy.
And co-ed, 2 games, The Rock versus Kiss My End Zone.
Can't
My
pick
End
it.
Zone.
Kiss my end zone by 50.
And Easy Fun versus La Sect.
Easy fun.
Easy fun.
Mo, where are you going to be? You're going to be at Saint Laurent Laval.
Yeah, Laval, Wednesday, still around next week.
Peeze, you're going to be at home.
No, I'll be at the field. So I got to show up to the field to be eligible for playoffs. So
Oh, that's true, actually.
I'll be there on Sunday no matter what.
So a reminder, you need 4 games played across both of the rounds in order to be eligible for the knockoff round. So just be sure to do that because that's important.
Yep.
Very well, then. 2 more weeks to go, and then we have the knockout stages. Look forward to it.
Agreed.
Match words, please.
Oh, I didn't prepare one.
Oh, good night, Baker Mayfield.
Nice. Those were my magic words, by the way.
Baker Mayfield.
I didn't
Good
prepare.
night, Jason Garrett.
You know who else didn't prepare? Baker Mayfield's doctors.
No.
Just build him a cash, a coffin.
Put the place up, yeah we know